All right, thanks, guys. A lot of stuff to get into today. We did go 1-1 in our Patreon plays yesterday on patreon.com/Brock Page. But let's go ahead and get into some Eastern Conference Finals in the NBA, and that's going to be Milwaukee taking on the Raptors, 8:30 Eastern tip-off in Toronto. The Raptors open up the betting as the 1-point favorite, total at 214. And since those markets opened this one up, no real surprises here as we're seeing steady action on the Raptors. I think everybody's starting to become believers in this team, and I'll tell you what, Kawhi Leonard, unbelievable, man. I'm kind of embarrassed that I've never had a proper amount of respect for his game, but man, he's unbelievable. He's the real frickin' deal on both sides of the ball. But anyway, Toronto, once again, taking some action. We're also seeing movement downward on the total as well. So right now we're sitting at 2.5 and 212 flat. So once again, Toronto open -1 up to -2.5. Total open 214 down to 212. 56% of the consensus is leaning toward Toronto. 57% is shaded toward the under. Right now, the Bucks are +115 on the money line. And like I said, Toronto, man, looking really good right now. They're up 3-2. Not so good for my man, Milwaukee Mike Jones, but I know that he has faith in his squad. Now, if you're like Milwaukee Mike and you're back in the Bucks here, it's a pretty tough spot for you. They're on the road. They lost their last 3 straight. They failed to cover in those 3 games. Their offense is averaging just 104 points per contest in those 3 losses. Meanwhile, Toronto on the other side, red hot, winners in 7 out of their last 8 at home. They're 6-3 straight up in their last 9 at any location. And Toronto ranks 2nd in free throw percentage. They're also ranking 7th in three-point percentage. They are 4th in defensive field goal percentage. They're holding their opponents to just 44% from the field. And one final thing to note about Toronto, they rank 5th in home points allowed. So it'd be interesting to see where that prop bet is on Milwaukee's team total. I didn't see it this morning, so if you have it, let me know in the comment section below. I wouldn't be surprised if it is at or around maybe 101, maybe not even over the century mark. Very interesting to see that. But anyway, total-wise, Milwaukee 8-1 to the over in their last 9 on the road. I don't want to say I'm predicting a blowout here. We could see an overtime contest, but I do think this one can and should get over. And it might not be thanks to the Milwaukee side of things. It might be all Toronto. So anyway, even though Toronto is 5th in home points allowed, I think this one does get over the 212. So once again, I'm going to purchase the 0.5 point, slide it down, and take Toronto -2 and the over 212 in that matchup there. And before we go ahead and move on, drop the notes. First time I've done that. That's a fumble. I've never done that before. Drop the notes right on the floor. But anyway, happy Memorial Day weekend to you guys. It is Saturday. The weekend's finally here, and it's been one hell of a week. And I got to work tonight, an overnight shift, my first overnight shift in the history of my career. I've never done that before. Actually, I've done it once for an event where we had ticket sales. But anyway, I'm working tonight into Sunday and Monday, so not a happy Memorial Day weekend to me, but it's not about me, it's about you. So happy Memorial Day weekend. I hope you guys have some awesome plans, hanging out with the family, maybe doing a little gambling, shooting some dice, playing some cards, maybe some 1-2 no limit hold'em down in Atlantic City or out there in Vegas. But anyway, welcome to the show. Got some lines of personal leans out for today's NBA and Major League Baseball action. But before we go ahead and get into that, got to remind you to check me out at patreon.com/Brock Page. I believe we're like 3-1 in our last 4 plays. I forget, man. I don't know. I've been so busy over the past couple days. I know that toward the end of the week, we started to pick it up a little bit. We got seasonal allergies, all jacked up. But anyway, great website. That's kind of the website that I operate off of. It's patreon.com/Brock Page. I share with you my daily plays on that site. There's a couple different packages, if you will, that you can subscribe to, and we're doing very well in a couple of those different packages. So anyway, patreon.com/Brock Page. Link is in the description section below. And let's go ahead and get into these very controversial shout-outs. You know, I never thought something so fun and so cute and adorable could be so controversial, but I find it funny. It's very engaging with the audience. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into some shout-outs. First off, got to give a shout-out from to Jared from Sports Gambling Daily, who has a great YouTube channel of his own, very similar content to mine. Me and Jared do not know each other outside of YouTube. We got to know each other on Instagram, and he runs a great channel. We basically do the same exact thing, and you know, I don't know if you'd consider him a competitor. We're all creating free content, so I don't think there's really competition. But we do the same exact thing, and I strongly encourage you guys to check him out. That's Sports Gambling Daily. And I'll tell you this much. His channel has grown exponentially, a lot faster than mine did a couple of years ago. Nobody liked my shit, but Jared, really some great growth there. So Jared from Sports Gambling Daily, check him out. Got to give a shout out to Nick Manley, Blown Stallone, Juju Haha, Bo Well Done, Paul, Georgie Lopez, Al, Smoking All the Green, Chris Smith, Randy C, the U-Dog Ulysses Hayes, who, U-Dog, it seems like an AC trip, Atlantic City trip is brewing. It's in the works. I think we got me, you, Ant Rod, couple other guys involved there. Anthony Scavone. We got some other guy. I know I'm missing a few other guys as well, but man, that'll be one hell of a trip if we can pull it off this summer. Shout out to Joe, Amili, Darius Marcus Allen. Shout out to the Proline Master, who has a YouTube channel of his own. Once again, very similar content to mine. So check out his page, Proline Master on YouTube. And speaking of Anthony Scavone, my fellow paisan, what's going on? Como estoy? Anthony Scavone from probably South Jersey or maybe Delaware County, Chester County, and PA, Bucks County. I know that he is from that area, but probably South Jersey. I would say maybe Little Egg Harbor or something like that, or Absecon. But Anthony Scavone, shout out to you. Shout out to CQP Underboss, who loves those unders. He loves defense, and he loves securing the bag. Shout out to Vin, JB Smooth, Bumpy Johnson. Bumpy, I would never forget about you, man. Bumpy, I would never, man, I can't, it's like I got a frog in my throat here. Bumpy, I would never forget about you, bro. You're my guy. Bumpy Johnson, shout out to you. Shout out to Stanley Pierre. Also, got to say hello to TCGMD 2011, which is my last and not least shout out. TCGMD 2011, who said, I thought only IT people worked on holidays and weekends. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm the whole damn show. I'm IT, I'm merchandising, I'm purchasing, I'm web development. I do everything. And I don't have the credentials. I was a communications major in college. I wrote expository papers that required no research. And now I'm running the show. I'm marketing. I'm e-commerce. I'm email planning. I'm everything. I do everything there. Leadership. I mean, it's wild. It's a wild ride. And I'm going to do it tonight and on Memorial Day. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into some Major League Baseball action. I'm accounting. I'm design. I am. I do all of it. Anyway. And I'm not bragging. I'm like, dude, how did I get into this? But anyway, man, this is a tough one. Let's start into some MLB action. We have the White Sox taking on the Twins, 2:10 Eastern first pitch in Minnesota. Now, there is no line currently for this game, but we do have a pitching matchup, some probables here for you. We got Manny Banuelos for the White Sox, Gibson for the Twins. Gibson comes into this game 4-2 on the year. Banuelos on the other side, 2-3 with a 7.26 ERA. Minnesota's first in scoring, first in hits. The White Sox are 21st in scoring, last in walks allowed. I like Minnesota getting the job done, winning that one outright. Oh man, I didn't write shout outs on the paper. I'm going to have to bust out the cell phone for the shout outs at the end of the show. Okay. Next game, Yankees Royals. That is the first game of a doubleheader here today. 2:15 Eastern first pitch at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. New York open minus 140, total at 9. And since those markets opened this one up, we're seeing a 10-cent fade of the Yankees and movement upward on the total. So we're